Interaction models. In today's session, we will be discussing about interaction models, how to represent the interaction and how the interaction models will be represented. So, interaction models, modeling user interaction. Then, use case diagrams and sequence diagrams may be used for interaction modeling. So interaction models specify the user interaction. User interaction is modeled to identify the user requirements. So we make use of use case diagrams and sequence diagrams for interaction modeling. The figure shows a use case in MSc PMS. So this is a use case in the mental health care patient management system. Here, an interaction between medical receptionist and patient record system is shown. The interaction carried out here is transferring the data. Transfer data is the interaction that is taken place between medical receptionist and patient record system. So let us see a tabular description of the transfer data use case. So here actors, description, data, stimulus, response and comments are there. So actors means the in the interaction who will be involved. Those are called as actors. So here medical receptionist and patient record system are involved in the interaction. So these will be the actors. So actors are medical receptionist and patient record system. Next, description is nothing but it describes the interaction that is carried out. So, description is a receptionist may transfer data from the MSc PMS to a general patient record database that is maintained by a health authority. The information transferred may either be updated personal information or a summary of the patient's diagnosis and treatment. The data that is transferred here is in the transfer data interaction. The data that is transferred here is patient personal information or it can be the treatment summary. Next, stimulus to carry out this interaction is user command issued by the medical receptionist. Next, the response for the stimulus is confirmation that patient record system has been updated. So in the comment section, the comments for the interaction will be mentioned. Next, moving on to the figure which shows that use cases in the MSc PMS involving the role medical receptionist. It is only showing one actor here. Means that the figure that is medical receptionist role is shown using the use case diagram. So medical receptionist role is to register the patient and you can unregister the patient and you can view the patient information and medical receptionist can transfer the data and you can also contact the patients. So these are all the roles that can be performed by the medical receptionist. So here among these roles they have taken one interaction that is view patient information. So this interaction has been taken and it is shown in the sequence diagram. They have written sequence diagram for the view patient information interaction. So sequence diagram. Medical receptionist triggers the view info method by supplying the patient's information. Medical receptionist is triggering the view info method by supplying the patient identifier, that is the patient ID. So P is an object here. P is an object. It calls the database when it receives that method. So when the view info method is received by the patient info object, so it calls the database to return the information that is required. Then the database, it checks the receptionist ID, that is the user ID. UID is nothing but it checks the user ID to check whether the user is an authenticated user or not, that is whether he is an authorized user or not. So database checks whether he is an authorized user or not with the authentication system. Then if he is authorized one, if authorization is success, then patient information will be returned. So the database sends the patient information. So if in case the authorization fails, then it shows the error message. So no access, it means access will not be given to return the patient information. So this is how the sequence diagram can be written for view patient information. So far we have studied what is interaction model. Interaction model in the sense is the model which shows the, which specifies the user interaction. So user interaction is model to identify the user requirements. So use case diagrams and sequence diagrams are used for interaction modeling. The figure shows the use case in the MSc PMS where medical receptionist and patient record system are the actors in this interaction. The interaction carried out is the transfer data. Next, a use case in the MSc PMS involving the role of the medical receptionist is shown in the diagram. Then they have taken one interaction, that is view patient information, and they have written sequence diagram for this view patient information. So the starting with the medical receptionist, it triggers the view info method by supplying the patient ID. Then it sends together with the patient information. B is an object here. It checks the user ID of the medical receptionist. Then the database checks for the authentication, whether he is an authorized user or not. If authorization is there, if he is an authenticated user, then patient information will be returned. If the authorization fails, then it will send the error message. Thank you.